let me ask you a question. Why is it so hard to pick a good robo vacuum for your house? And why do all these brands have so many different versions of their RoboVacs? So this is going to be the Roborock QRevo CurvX. And if you remember from my original review of the Roborock QRevo Curv, I returned mine. But the CurvX is going to be an upgrade, and it comes with new features that make it harder to return and a better overall unit. So if you're into truthful, honest reviews for someone who used their Roborock inside of their own home for over a month, well, this is my review of the CurvX.
Mop washed. Resuming cleaning.
So the difference between the Roborock QRevo CurvX and the Roborock QRevo Curv is that this CurvX is coming with updated features. And those updated features means that if you're mopping and the sense is that the floor is dirtier, well, it's going to come back and mop that floor area again. That is something that the other QRevos do not do. Another feature is that if it's vacuuming and it detects the floor is very dirty while vacuuming, it's going to spend more time vacuuming that specific area. So it's able to recognize dirt better than other units. It also has the advanced flexi arm design, and that flexi arm design is going to be more intuitive in terms of reaching out for crevices. It's also going to have that slimmer design, so it's going to be able to go under surfaces better with that retractable LIDAR, as well as when you look at it, it's just going to look like a better overall unit and more complete than before. The station itself is not a big difference from what we saw on the original Curv, but most of the changes have occurred inside of the unit itself. The mapping as well as the pathing, including for vacuuming, is better on the CurvX versus the original Curv. So I'm going to run a test here. We're going to do our mopping session, but we're going to put it on the route D+, which is something you can do only on the mop mode. Because if you go to vac mop, it's going to go back to standard route. If you do vac followed by mop, it's still standard route. And vacuum is going to be not giving you that either, but the vacuum does give you the ability to go max plus on the suction power, and that's going to be the max suction power your unit can make. So here we got our mop, and we're going to go into a deep mode. And what I want to know is that we're going to use it with some chocolate syrup. So is it going to be able to recognize the chocolate syrup, and is the dirt detection as well as the dirt detection inside of the clean station going to go back and clean its mop pads better, cleaner, because we're using it on such a messy floor, messy stain? That's the question here, because the difference between a lot of these spinning mop pads is that they're going to be able to slosh around things. They'll pick up some of it. Is it going to come back and pick up the rest? Is it going to do a good job? And is it going to clean the mop pads better because it's going to use the rinse cycle more than before? So that's on the test for the CurvX. So this is going to be that Hershey stain. I smudged it all around. It's also been about an hour, so it's relatively dry. Not completely dry, but that's because it's so sugary, and this is going to be our CurvX going up and down in orderly rows. We have it on the deepest clean cycle for mopping alone, so this is not activating its brush roll in terms of the vacuuming. It's really focused on the mopping. We just finished the self-washing session. It says drying the mop now. Estimated finish after is going to be 3 hours. It doesn't have that suction, so it's not going to be pulling the chocolate out of the tile grout. So that's one thing you have to know. And that's something that all of these spin versions suffer from. So they're not going to be great if you have, 3D tile or a gap between your tiles. And if you're looking right here, it appears that it has picked up all of the chocolate. However, because it's going to be using the spin pads and the spinning mop pads, it's not necessarily picking it up. It's more about moving it around, because it's not actually picking anything up. It's not sucking any of the liquid out. So our unit hasn't gone back to clean its mop pads, even though it sensed that big stain on the floor, and it does have these sensors to recognize it. And that's something that the CurvX, I'm surprised it didn't do, and that's something I wish it did, because then it would do a better job instead of swirling around all this chocolate syrup that's on our floor still and going back and forth. So now that we've let it clean up that chocolate sauce, I want to see how clean the mop pads are going to be. So before, I'm just going to pause it, show you how dirty the mop pads are already. And,
The robot to a new location.
and you can see that the mop pads are brown, and we want to see if that's going to get clean after the session. You can also see there's some chocolate water from just using it. And after having tested out the dirty water detection inside of the clean station on our CurvX, I can say it does a pretty accurate job in figuring out if the dirty water is actually dirty. And because of how effective the scrubbing brush, this updated scrubbing brush, is inside of the clean station, it does a good job cleaning the mop pad overall. So at most, I've really found that it only ran the clean cycle twice when the dirty water was really dirty. And that's when we did a caramel, chocolate, and strawberry test with our CurvX. Now, one thing a lot of reviewers are not sharing with you is that after that chocolate syrup pickup, they're not actually showing you how dirty or sticky the floor is after that. So if you I'm going to try to rub this with a paper towel, and that chocolate syrup was already dry. So after doing this again, you can see that there is chocolate on the floor. So this is on a second attempt to mop the floor after we spilled all of that chocolate syrup on the floor. And it's doing overall the same job it's going to do the first time, except now you have the cleaner mop pads. So I want to see if this second session is going to be able to remove a lot of the chocolate syrup, at least all the remnant chocolate syrup, because unlike what we thought it would do, it detected that large stain, but because it was able to remove the outline of that stain relatively effectively, it just didn't come back for a second session. And that's something that I wish the dirt detection system was able to do, at least for the mopping. It's able to do that better for the vacuuming, where it's going to focus on that vacuumed area if there's debris and redo it. But for the mopping, you don't see much of an effect from the dirt detection, at least from the AI dirt detection that they've added in feature-wise. But honestly, how well does it clean your floors? Because it comes with the spin wave mops that are going to be able to extend outwards. It comes with the extendable side brush, but the secret really is that now it comes with something called Retract Sense navigation system. So it's going to have a smaller LIDAR area in the back that can drop down and retract itself so it can go under low profile furniture. And it comes with Reactive AI 3.0 obstacle recognition. The same reactive AI that you're seeing on some of the other QRevos, including the S5V. So here you're going to see it just figuring out where to go, what to do, and what of obstacles to avoid. And it's very good at avoiding people's feet. Like, it avoids my wife's feet, it avoids my son's feet. It's good at picking things up off of carpet and rugs as well as hardwood floors, because it has a lot of suction power. But even more importantly, because of this updated pathing system, Roborock is giving you the best in class in terms of how well it vacuums your floor and how well it navigates your floor with the navigation. Because this is where Roborock is really standing out. They just have figured out how to do mapping as well as making maps and just figuring out how to vacuum your floors better, because it's going to go over all of the edges and then it's going to work itself around inside of whatever room it's in and make sure to vacuum almost every area inside. So here I have a breadcrumb test, and it does a good job picking up all the breadcrumbs. But whatever you miss, you can also inside the app make it do it twice. You can decide, hey, I want it to be even more aggressive. You can increase the suction power. These are all adjustments you can make while your Roborock is in action. And that is something that's very, very good, because most other RoboVacuums, you can change the settings, but you can only have the RoboVacuum listen to you in those change settings after it goes back to dock. So here you can change it midstream, you can change it mid-job. The other thing I like about it is that because it has more features, it's going to be the best QRevo you see out there. So here it's just doing my floors. After it does it in one direction, I asked it to do 2x, so it's going to go in a perpendicular action. And if it misses any of the crumbs, it's going to go and try to pick it up to the best of its ability. What it is missing though is that you don't have the ability to make the side brush, in terms of that extendable side brush, rotate faster. So taking a closer look at your Roborock QRevo CurvX, we notice that it's going to be coming with the Reactive AI object recognition system right here. There's going to be those two cameras, and there's also sensors in the front. And then you can also see the flexi-arm design on the side. And then the true nature of this unit is that it's coming with a redesigned self-empty station. And that self-empty station is just going to look better than the standard stations you're getting from the other QRevo lineup. So you're going to be getting the dirty water tank here, the clean water tank, and they're going to be taller. They're going to be taller than wider when you compare it to the QRevos. And there's also going to be additional bag area for your vacuuming bag for all your debris. And you're going to close this, and then when you pull out your unit, you'll also notice that it's going to have a deeper cavity, so everything's going to go inside of here. And when you look inside, there's going to be that tray area. That's where all the debris is coming out of, and there's going to be a water pump that's going to remove all of the dirty water, and this is going to be the tray system that comes with it. The tray system, then this is going to be the tray system that comes with your CurvX. So this has been redesigned, so there's more dots that are causing agitation to the spinning mop pads, so that's going to do a better job cleaning. There's also going to be not only one tray, but two areas where you have this going to also rotate, and then you have an additional tray for capturing more debris. So instead of worrying so much about the clogs, the CurvX is really just trying to minimize where the clogs can occur, as well as make it easy for you to clean up. And these mop mounts are just going to locate into place and spin, and that's what's ultimately causing them to get clean. It's coming with these anti-tangle brushes here, and if you pop it out, that means all of the hair is going to go into the center, and it's going to spin because in the center of this, all of the suction power is going to draw into that hole right there. So it is quite effective at reducing the amount of tangles you get from long hair, but if you have a lot of long hair, let's say you have like 10 cats or you have like 4 golden retrievers, it's good but not perfect. So don't have the highest expectations, but it is more effective than having a system that does not have a anti-tangle brush. These are going to be the more durable wheels that we're seeing. And these are the wheels with that AdaptLift Chassis, so it's going to be able to pick itself up over obstacles about 2 inches high. I really don't recommend doing it for 2 inches. I think 1, maybe even 1.5 is the limit. You have additional sensors. This is where that extendable flexi arm side brush is going to be, and that reduces the amount of tangles because the cords will actually get free instead of looping around on a tri side brush. That means a side brush with 3 arms is more likely to tangle than one with just 2. The CurvX also comes with that capability with the AdaptLift Chassis, so that if you do have a threshold, be it a 1/4 inch, a 1/2 inch, even 1 inch, it does make quick work about jumping over it. It also is not going to be great though if you have a threshold that might be 1.5 inches, 2 inches, not because it can't perform and get over it. It's actually going to be able to get over those things, but because it has to put so much thrust into it, you could potentially damage or scratch your Roborock, or you might be able to scratch your floor, especially if it's wood. But on these 1/2 inch tile, on a 1 inch tile, it does make quick work out of your entire flooring here. And depending on the floor type, it will adjust what it's doing because it can recognize floor types as well. And finally, if we're just talking about how well does it perform in rugs and carpet, it does a very good job, and I think that comes down to its weight. So depending on your RoboVacuum, weight is extremely important. The lighter RoboVacuums do not put enough pressure on the ground, even if they have a lot of suction power, because it's not going to be able to drive its roller inside of long pill or more heavy duty carpets. Your CurvX is able to do that. So one thing that I do say, and that's very commendable about it, is that it's able to really pick up effectively almost all the debris and dust that's on our carpet, and it's able to
utilize its side brush because it's going to stay active the entire time. A lot of units, in terms of your carpet and rugs, they will not activate their side brush anymore, but I do like how the Roborock is activating it so that it can sweep things as well. How it navigates your floors is going to be the same regardless of if it's carpet or rug, but if you got these cords, and this is where it has that potential weakness, for cords, for whatever reason, the CurvX wants to be more aggressive. And because its aggression is dialed up high, even if you lower it so that it's going to be obstacle avoidant, you can adjust this inside of the settings. It does love to just vacuum over cords. So if you are wondering how great is it on cords, it's okay. It still will get some cords stuck inside, even with that anti-tangle brush roll in the center and that anti-tangle side brush, but it's not as a big a problem as we saw on the original Curv. And then if you talk about how it handles other obstacles, it has that ability to adjust to and recognize 106 obstacles like your feet or some chairs or a box. It can recognize those things, it will mark it on the map, and it will avoid them. So outside of cords, I think for the obstacle avoidance, it is also very good, and is also very good for fringes.
So if you're looking at the Roborock app for your CurvX, you notice that you have your carpet cleaning settings. And carpet cleaning settings, you can do the basics, lift mop cloth mounts to vacuum carpets first, lift mop cloth mounts to vacuum carpets, and put carpet boost. You can have it be more avoidant, cross, or ignore carpets as well. Not much more than that here. Floor cleaning is when you get a lot more of the features on board. So you can decide on the cleaning pattern. So you have it smart, you can clean along the floor direction or mixed pattern cleaning. Then you have your LIDAR sensor lowering. You have your Flexi Arm Design Extended Cleaning. You have your Flexi Design Extended Mopping and the Flexi Arm Design Extended Cleaning for crevices. So you're going to want to activate all of those for optimal cleaning. You have automatic remopping and deep cleaning for heavy dirt or stains. These are the new features on the CurvX. So when a dirty area is detected during mopping, robot will return to the dock for mop washing and double mop after. Or you have your reactive obstacle avoidance. So you have the reactive obstacle avoidance on. It can take photos. It has less collision mode, so you can adjust how sensitive it is. You have your pet snaps, AI environment recognition, and your fill light. Finally, you have your dock settings, so you can decide how frequently you want it to wash its mop pads based on time or room. You have your washing mode, you have your dustbin auto frequency, and start drying. You have your dock maintenance, so it can self-clean its cleaning tray if you opt for that, so that's a good feature that you have here. After you do a clean cycle, it's going to tell you what happened on your floor. So it has basically a standard pattern that it says on your floors, and it detects areas of carpet. So it's going to make recommendations to you, as well as it detects furniture. And if you want to just switch out between your different modes here, you can. You have your full, you have your rooms, you have your zone, and you have your routine. So you can set your routine so that you can decide when you want it to clean and the period you want it to clean at. So personalized cleaning sequence and preferences can be set for each area. So that's a really good one because you can decide where and how you want it to clean which room. So if you had a routine here, we're going to do a room cleaning, and then you can decide what it does in each room. And then you can decide, do you want it, and you can decide what it does in each room between how much suction power, water flow, cleaning count, and route. So you can do that for each room, so there's much more customization options that are open to you. And you're gonna have the ability, if you go to rooms and you wanna just switch up your vac mop, so you have your vac mop, you have your vac followed by mop, and you have your smart plan. A lot of people will say, I'm just gonna use smart plan. In my opinion, you're better off just doing manual and deciding what you want it to do, how much water you want it to use, because you're gonna know better than the robot, especially if you want better vacuuming performance, because you can increase the suction power and maintain it for the entire route. So we're going to do vac and mop here. You have your suction power, but if you want to max out the suction, you're going to have max plus here on just vacuuming, but if you go to any other mode, there is no max plus. Inside the app, you still have your settings for your dock, so you can adjust what you want your dock to do. You can also decide when it should do it. So you have your mop wash frequency, you have your dustbin auto empty frequency. The 3-hour duration is that's because it's not going to be having that real hot air that's going to be able to dry it faster. You have your smart tank water, you have your display mode. There's no auto soap dispenser here, and you can even do some other features inside. So this is going to be able to give you the drying start as well as the dock maintenance. So the mop, so it doesn't give you the hot air drying, it does give you the hot water washing, but no hot air drying here. And if we're inside of the settings, now we just let it do the chocolate milk, so we just let it pick up all that chocolate syrup. I want to see if it does a good job just cleaning itself, so we have it on dock. We're going to pick wash.
Starting to wash the mop.
And this is now washing the mop pads. Let's see what the effects of the mop washing session are, how clean it's going to be, and if we have to run it 2 times, 3 times, or if it's going to figure out how dirty the water is and do it on its own.
Ultimately, what's my verdict on the Roborock QRevo CurvX? It's going to be a big improvement over the original Curv. I think it does a lot of the things that you expect from your Roborock. It is a very predictable robo vacuum. It's great for vacuuming all different types of floors. It is definitely one of the best looking RoboVacs on the market because of how the clean station looks, and it's going to be quieter than most of its competition. With the drawback here, as you see from my tests, is that in terms of mopping, it's not so much that the CurvX is coming with a spin pad mop. It is that the spin pad mop is going to be the previous generation. Everyone's going towards roller and track mops. So here, it's up to you if you want to spend this kind of money for a unit that's not going to have the same mopping performance that can extract the liquid off your floor like you get on these updated track or roller mop units. So outside of that, everything else is going to be super streamlined. It's basically a Roborock Saros 10R, just with another name, and it's going to work just as well in my opinion. I was a little bit disappointed on the intelligent dirt detection because even though the clean station is going to be okay at detecting how dirty the water is and then rewashing the pads, in the 600 minutes I tested out the CurvX, it never went back out and rewashed a dirty area that was mopped. So does it work? It might work, but I'm going to have to monitor if there's going to be a future update that fixes that. So do I like the CurvX? Yes. Is it the future of robo vacuuming? No. But in this current generation, in this current iteration, it's one of the best there is. So with that, thanks for watching, everybody. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment box below, and please hit that like or subscribe button. It really does help support our channel. And I'll catch you next time. This is Dave with the French Glow signing off. Bye, bye, bye.